All right, my friends, starting in your child's pose, just make your way down. Allow your forehead to come to the mat, toes together, sitting on your heels. And take some time just to be still and breathe deeply. Noticing how you feel. Expanding deeply into your rib cage and your belly. And then squeezing all the air out. Find that with each breath, your awareness is more focused inward. And you feel comfortable releasing any responsibilities and roles and projects that you might have outside of what you're doing right now. Okay, so just let all your day-to-day stuff just sit aside for a moment and allow yourself to focus very deeply on how your body feels. And just observing that from a place of compassionate fascination. Allow your tissues to soften, your jaw hangs off your face. Your lips are floppy, your forehead, maybe you might smash your forehead around on the floor, kind of rolling over your eyebrows. Feel the backs of your ribs spread. Spaces between your shoulders. And just continue to allow each breath to pull you deeper and deeper downward. And we'll just start to wake up your upper body just a little bit. Walk out your fingertips, but keep your hips on your heels or close to them. So as your fingertips walk out, it's almost like they're pressing into the floor to press your hips down. And just start to press down into your hands, making a tiger claw shape, lifting the palm, pressing down the fingers. And we can start to look under one armpit at a time. Look under one armpit, look under the other. And take a few more rounds like this, just opening up the chest. Make sure your neck is really long. You're always moving your shoulder blades away from your ears here. I'm starting to feel that spine maybe warm up, feeling a little bit more mobility in your cervical spine and your upper back. And then bring this back into center. Bring your hands down on the mat again. And with your inhale, just pull on the mat. Lift yourself up and forward into a cow posture, okay? With your spine arching, your belly button pulling in, and your heart moving forward between your arms. And with your exhale, press it right back to your child's pose. And let's just do that a few more times. So strong hands, inhale, pulling forward, pull, pull, pull on the mat. Exhale, pressing back. Keep going. Find a little rhythm. Maybe close your eyes. Just notice how that spinal extension, when you arch your back, okay, coming forward into extension, the back body is working. And on the flexion, when you round your back into a child's pose, okay, the back body's opening, and the front body pulls you back in. So building some warmth across the back. Maybe one more time. Come on up. And then hold right here in your cow posture, pulling your heart up and forward. So activate your armpits towards your chest here. Pull the belly up. 3, 2, and 1. And then release that. And let's take a little wrist stretch from here. So flipping one hand over at a time, see if one is enough, okay? Flipping the palm up, point the fingers back at you. And if that is fine, then try 2. Otherwise, one at a time is great. And then you can just rock, kind of rock and roll around on your hands. Our hands have a really complicated and exhausting existence, and we can take really good care of them just by stretching them out every day. All right, roll over, make a fist a few times. And then let's flip it over. Fingers point in the same direction, but palm down. Spread your fingers really wide, and then peel your hands up and down. Okay, it should feel really good. It should never hurt. Okay, it should always feel really nice. And then go ahead and bring your hands back to normal here. And let's get the right knee up and out and just start circling the right hip out. Keeping the hips level at first. Okay, don't let the right hip pop up too far above the left. And just try to draw the biggest circle you can without lifting the right hip. And it's challenging. Notice what muscles are working. Let's rewind it. Big right knee circle without lifting the hip. And then now pick it up. Open the hip up. Stack it over the left. Big knee movement. And then rewind it. Pull it back around. Okay, and then next time you swing that right knee forward, go ahead and drop it by your right hand. And then we're going to walk the right foot over to the right a little bit. And out, okay? Take it out in front of the right. And just start to circle your hips around. So it's kind of a silly movement. It's kind of a weird movement. But just enjoy it and just take your hips all the way around in a big circle. And so notice what your left leg, your thigh bone, your femur is doing. It's kind of stirring around in your right hip socket. Sorry, in your left hip socket. And your right hip is doing something similar, but just a smaller movement. Take it back the other way a few times. And then bring the right foot back into center. More of a normal lunge. And then maybe you can walk the left knee back a little bit after stirring that hip out. Let the hips sink down nice and low. So find some time here and start to really settle into this little low lunge because I want to keep us here for quite a while, okay? Now keep in mind, you can make the low lunge much less intense by bringing the left knee in towards your hands, okay? It makes it so much more gentle. So please keep that option open. Make sure your neck stays nice and long here and give the floor some gentle resistance. So you're pushing down on the floor with your legs, and at the same time, you're pulling the knees inward toward each other. Okay, so you're activating your legs and your hips. And then if you feel okay about it, come down to one elbow. Just pick one. Maybe the left elbow first. See if you can keep your neck long. Keep the legs strong. Maybe 2 elbows. And we'll just take a few breaths here. Go ahead and drop your head. Keep the neck long. And then keep that right knee pressing inward at you, like you wanted to push yourself to the left with it. We'll take a few more breaths here, just thinking of sinking low in this lizard lunge. As you're ready, start to pull yourself up and out of this. Come out slowly. Take one hand at a time. If you came down to your elbows, okay, maybe you scooch the back knee in if you scooched it out. And let's take the right leg back behind. Back to hands and knees. Tuck your toes here, hover your knees, and then walk your hands back to your feet. Let's take a moment just to hang and swing. So put a nice bend in your knees here. You can make it really bendy in the knees or not as bendy. It's up to you. But just don't lock them out, okay? And then little swaying side to side. Let your upper body hang. Let the neck be long and soft. And really let your head hang. Maybe grab onto your elbows here as you sway. And then see if you want to try to rock back and forth. Weight on your toes. Weight on your heels. Toes. Heels. Okay, kind of contacting and activating all those little stabilizer muscles in your legs and your feet. And maybe at some point you can join your hands behind your back. Maybe you want to interlace your fingers and move the hands away from you. So way up, out, and away. Think of dropping your heart by your knees, even if you have to bend your knees a lot. Let your head hang. All right, from here, palms back to the floor. We're going to walk the hands forward. Find yourself back on hands and knees here. And we'll do the other side. So we'll get the left knee up. And without lifting the left hip, circle that left knee. So trying to find the biggest range of movement you can. And rewind it. Okay, next time that left knee is forward by your hands, go ahead and drop it there. Okay, walk that left foot out to the left. Find a big wide stance in your lunge here, and we'll start to stir out that right hip. Just moving the right hip all around over the femur. Okay, notice how that joint feels, and notice what's going on in the left hip too. Rewind it. Okay, embrace the weirdness. It's kind of a weird, sneaky movement. And then come on back in, settle back into your lunge. So we really warmed up both hips, okay, left and right. So now we can sink more easily into this nice little low lunge. Take your time. You have time to make it feel just right. And then give the floor some push. Both legs push down. Both knees pulling in toward each other. And that left knee is pressing in toward you. And maybe one elbow comes down. Okay, maybe two. Maybe you stay up on your hands. This is kind of one of those postures where it's different on the day, okay? Different every day. Keep the legs active here. And notice if you activate just enough in this lunge, where do you get some extra release? Okay. We're always looking for that balance between effort and ease. Your head hangs so heavy here. In your lizard lunge. Take your time coming back up out of this. Press your hands back up underneath you. Maybe scooch the back knee forward. Back to hands and knees. Okay. Tuck your toes here. Let's get the hips up and back. Again, walk your hands back to your feet. Okay, and this time let's take the feet kind of wide. So just walk them out away from each other. And then point the toes out to either side. Okay, heels more in, toes more out. And then start to drop your hips down into a squat. And we'll take some time here, just breathe in. So I'm just going to turn a little bit to face you so that you can see that I'm trying to make my feet point as forward as they can. Okay, but there's a balance there where if you point them too forward, you'll fall over. So find that balance. And then put your hands together and press your knees apart. Make a long spine and lift your heart like you're using your legs to push your heart upward. Nice breath here, holding your squat. So if you need to, you can always come up and just rest your hands on your knees. But if you're feeling pretty good here, push down into your legs. So just really clock them on and push down through the center of each leg. Feel that strength lift your heart up and forward. A really nice opening for your hips and low back here in your Malasana squat. One more nice breath here. And let's let it go, okay? Bring your hands back to the floor. Press your hips back up. Oh. And then take a moment here to bend one knee at a time. Hinge and swing, sway. Okay, from here, start to really exaggerate the bend in each knee as you sway from side to side. And then make your knee bend just enough that you can rest your upper body on your knee when you go side to side, okay? Take your hands behind you here. Move them away from you. And then next time you roll your left shoulder over by your left knee, see if you could just rest it on there, extending the right leg as much as is appropriate and flexing the left, okay? And then pull your hands away from you. Breathe here. Let your head be heavy, your spine hanging long. Nice stretch across the back of your leg. All right, we're going to switch to the other side. Bend more into the right knee. Extend more into the left. Allow your right shoulder to rest on your right knee. Go ahead and look out to the left. Let your head hang. One more breath. And then roll it back into center. Bring your hands back to the floor. Walk it forward again, back to hands and knees. All right, come all the way down here to a cobra. So we'll just start out all the way on the floor. Forehead on the ground, belly down, and your hands are under your shoulders. Okay, pulling your elbows into your sides. Just take a few moments to get the feeling of pointing your tailbone at the floor and lifting your belly button. So really activating your core and protecting your low back. Breathe here, just find that sense of groundedness and protection for your spine. Okay, and from here, we're gonna take a few little baby cobras. So grip the mat underneath your hands, underneath your shoulders, and really pull those elbows in. I want you to think of pulling on the mat like you're just like in a cow pose when you pull your heart up and forward. As you inhale, pull the heart between your thumbs, and then exhale and drop it back down. And we'll just do a few cobras like that. So just find a little rhythm. Inhale, pull heart forward. Exhale, release heart down. Find a rhythm. Okay, think of releasing open the whole chest on the inhale and dropping it on the exhale. Keeping a long neck all the time. Okay, and this can be really subtle. You can stay really low on the ground if you choose, or you can start to kind of grow it into kind of a bigger movement if that feels right. As long as you can keep a sense of protection in the low back. Okay, maybe one more cobra, just as big as you like it. And then exhale all the way down. Take a moment to rest here. And then take your arms into a cactus shape on the ground, and we'll get into some shoulder stretch. We warmed your arms nicely. So looking out at your right hand, okay? We're gonna use the right hand to roll into the left side, okay? And you've rolled onto your left side, keeping your left arm out there behind you, okay, in a bend. So this is where you can slide the left elbow up or down to make it feel more appropriate. Okay, you can adjust it. Okay, figure out exactly how you want it to feel as you open up that left shoulder and chest and armpit. And then when you're ready to commit, tuck the left knee up and in, and you have a little prop. And we're just gonna breathe here and just be here for a little while. So close your eyes. And then use your left hand to gently resist the floor, okay? If you need to back out, you can always drop the right shoulder back to the floor, okay? But if it's okay, resist the floor a little bit with your left hand. Breathe, notice the left shoulder. Notice how your rib cage inflates with the inhales as it twists open. If you want more, you can reach up with the right hand and use the right and the left arm to think of opening your arms up wide here. Big chest. Maybe you drop the right hand across your back, behind your back, and tuck the fingers underneath your left side. Just getting it out of the way. Great, hopefully this feels like a really nice release all across your left chest, shoulder, okay? If you're left-handed, the side might feel really tight. This is where we carry so much of our stuff. Okay, one more really big breath here, getting the last bits of tension just dripping out of that shoulder. And then release. Roll out of it. Bring the right hand back to the floor, both legs straight, back on your belly. Just take a moment to soak that up. Notice the sensation in the left shoulder, the left hand. And let's do the other side. So bringing that right arm into cactus shape, look it to the left. Use the left hand to roll onto your right side. And at this point, you're able to adjust the right arm angle by sliding the elbow up or down, okay? On one side, you might like it totally different than the other. So adjust the angle to be just right in your right armpit and shoulder, and then tuck the right knee in. I'll spin around to face you out. So settle in. I want to spend some time here. We got the shoulders warm, so this is a good time. All right. Start to press the floor with the right hand. Notice how the right shoulder feels. If you're right-handed, this is going to be your special side probably. Okay. Think of how the armpit feels. Feel it across the chest. And then maybe if you decide you need to back out, you just drop the left shoulder to the floor. But if you want to roll into it, you can reach up with the left arm. And you can drop it across your back maybe. Tuck it underneath your own self. Breathe. Close your eyes. Feel all the tension that you carry in this right side of your chest, okay? Our shoulders and our chests do so much, and there's so much repetitive movement, okay? Clogging up that part of your body sometimes. So take this opportunity to let it melt open. Feel nice and free again. One more breath here. Any last tension draining away. Start to peel yourself out of this. Come back up and out. Back to your belly here. Take a moment. Rest your forehead on the floor. Feel the right shoulder. Notice all of that sensation you created. And then elbow or hands back underneath your shoulders. Okay. Press on up to hands and knees. Come on up. Sit your hips out to one side here. We'll come to a seat. Legs out nice and long. Let's pull that right foot up and in. Press it into your left inner thigh. We'll have a nice long spine here. Okay, lifting that heart up and forward. And think of activating through the left leg. So you're actively pushing out through it. Okay, pressing down in both hips. And start to feel your heart pressing forward in the direction of your left toes. And we'll breathe here. You can use your hands to just support the weight of your upper body. And you can also maybe pull back on the hands a little bit to lengthen in that direction. Breathe deeply. You want to feel the back of your body kind of softening and melting open here. And if you keep that left leg nice and active and really activate the left kneecap up towards your left hip, you'll get a great release across that hamstring. Okay, maybe coming down to your elbows. We'll take a few more breaths here. You might hang your head, but keep your neck long. Always long neck. Allow any tension in the back of your body here just melting out. The low back, hamstrings, across your ribs. As you're ready here, start to take your time walking yourself up and out. Okay, back up to a seat. Let's take the right knee and point it straight up. Okay, and you can use your left arm to grab that right knee and squeeze it in. Sit up nice and tall. And keep that left leg nice and active as you push out through the foot. Okay, once you feel equally heavy in both hips, use your right fingers behind you to make yourself taller. Breathe into your big chest. Exhale into your chest. Inhale into your chest. And exhale with your strong belly. So you're feeling the benefits of the twist, lengthening that spine, creating space. If you want to move more deeply into it, you can take the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Okay, deepening, pressing a little further into it. Maybe one more breath here in your twist. Unwind yourself from that. And let's press the right knee back to the floor. And then drop the right hand over on the right, in line with your left foot and your right knee. Okay, they all make a straight line. And then come on up into a supported side plank. Okay, take your time fidgeting till it feels just right, but your right hand is firmly underneath your right shoulder, your right knee underneath your right hip, and the outer edge of your left foot is grounded. And from there, you can reach out the left fingers away from the left foot and enjoy a really good, delicious side stretch all across your left side. So to make the most of this, remember to pull your belly button into your spine, okay, and actively push the floor down. And as you activate, okay, and strengthen from within, you allow the more exterior musculature up on the left side to release. One more big breath here, maybe even reaching those left fingers down for the ground to really round out the side stretch. And then start to come out of this, okay? Spiral yourself back down to a seat. And we'll switch sides. So now the right leg will be the long leg. The left foot will be stepping on the right inner thigh. So sit up nice and tall. Okay, strong through the right leg. Pushing out through the bone, okay? And start to lengthen your heart in that direction. Take your time, you have plenty of time. And taking several breaths, think of lifting up and out of your low back as you press down into your hip bones. And maybe you drop to your elbows. And maybe even dropping your head, but keep your neck long. Use that right kneecap to your advantage, okay? Pull your right kneecap up towards your hip. You're engaging your quadriceps when you do that, and you're giving your hamstrings a little space to let go. So that'll give you some extra space along the back line of your body to move into. Breathe space to your ribs, your glutes, your low back. One more big breath here in your forward fold, releasing tension that remains across the back body. And roll it up and back. Take your time. Let's move into that twist now. So let's point the left knee up, okay? Plant that left foot. Sit up nice and tall. And your right arm holds your left leg like a really good friend, okay? Press your hips down. Once you feel tall and heavy in both hips, left fingers behind you make you taller. And breathe as you look over that left shoulder. Big breaths. Feel the back of the rib cage spreading open here. Remember, your spine is long when you're twisting. It's one of your priorities. Your breath is big, so big chest inhale. Strong belly exhale. And if you want to move deeper, right elbow to the outer left knee. One more breath here. And spiral yourself out of that. Okay, coming down to the floor with that left knee again. Drop the left hand so that it's in line with your right foot and your left knee, and then you're perfectly set up to press up to a supported side plank. Okay, fidget. Make everything feel just right. And now we get the right side opening up. So extend the right hand away from the right foot. And then remember to actively push the floor down and belly button in. So this movement goes into all that right side body. And then maybe the right hand even points down a little bit. Remember to keep a long neck. One more breath here. Releasing any tension in the right armpit, low back, neck. Bring it down. Come on down to a seat again. Okay, friends. Great time to rest. So tuck your hands behind your knees and come on back to the floor. Okay, spread your back out wide and then tuck your shoulder blades underneath you. Let's get some cactus arms going. And then just bring your knees up and close together, and we'll just start to rock them gently side to side. Super gentle. Just massaging your low back and your glutes on the floor. You might get some little pops and cracks, but in general, if it feels okay, it is. And then bring your legs back to center here. Drop your feet back to the floor. Slide your legs out long again and rest. Okay, you can take your hands by your sides. I like to really flip the palms up so that the chest feels broad. Okay, you might try a little tuck in your chin. And breathe here. Just let your breath go. No longer controlling the length or the depth of it. Just noticing it. Allow your body to be just as soft and effortless. Any tension that would have possibly remained is melting out now. So please keep resting just like this as long as you can. Longer is better. A nap is great if you can take one. Thanks so much for joining me. This is where I'll leave you today.